Shalom. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work of sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. This is Yahweh Tazab, just coming back with another video. Just want to go into what's going on right now. Again, the Washington Post put up an article an hour ago stating Pentagon readying thousands of guards reaction force. Up to 23,500 service members are being readied and trained for civil unrest missions in U.S. cities. Updated October 30th, 2025. All right. As you see here, I got these. I got this posted up on the screen. Right there, you see we're ready. Thousands of Fort Hood soldiers. Leaked memo details National Guard plan, and that's that that guard quick reaction, which is what I'm gonna read right here. It says the domestic preparation, the quick reaction force, a new quick reaction force is being established with 23,500 National Guard troops trained for civil disturbances and disaster response. The training troops are receiving training on crowd control, including the use of tasers and pepper spray, and will be equipped with crowd control gear, which they've always done that. But you know, the way everything is going on right now is it's heightening. You know, they're making sure they're tightening up any loose ends and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, so they can be ready. The timeline, the first 200 troops in this quick reaction force are scheduled to be ready by January 1st, 2026, with the full force operations by April 2026. So they're already up to something, man. We've been knowing it, but that's just what it is. That's what's happening. And they're gonna start sending in their garrisons. You know, the enemy is gonna come in as a flood. All right, this is Isaiah. Let me see. This is Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Okay. So once again, they've been prepping, they've been doing, you know, what they do to be ready for these types of events. But they're stating here to be in full force, to be ready is January 1st, 2026, with the full force operational by April 2026. All right, so they're really moving fast, like brother's been saying. They're moving fast to try to do what they got to do. All right. So again, Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Okay, so the enemy's gonna come in as a flood. You got to be ready yourself, and the only way you be ready is by repentance and getting right with the Father and the Son, and setting your house in order and putting on the beautiful garments, which is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, putting on the full armor as a soldier of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's what you have to do. All right. Let me see what else. Let me get this scripture. This is This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. Okay? So you got to be ready yourself, you know what I'm saying? You got to do what it is that's going to, you know, arm yourselves with the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? Hang on real quick. All right. All right. Okay. So you got to arm yourselves and be ready. This is This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 40. It says, "O my people, hear my words." "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle." Right? So we're being told that we gotta make ready to the battle. We gotta be ready for this thing that's coming. All right? That it's already here. It says, "And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth," because we ain't gonna have no place. You're currently residing. That's not where you're gonna be at, man. Okay. I have this. I had to experience this one thing going back in 2024. When I was in a certain city out working, there was a lot of bad things going on there, and I had been given a lot of dreams, and ultimately towards the end of it, the dreams increased, and it was basically showing me to leave that place. Then finally I left. You know, I came back to where I'm originally from, and I ended up having a dream. I had a dream maybe like a few days after leaving. So probably that next week, I had a dream that soldiers, or like the SWAT team, was coming into my spot, and I woke up from my sleep. You know, in my dream, I woke up, of course, because they were coming in, and they were all in their gear, the helmets, and you know, the way they dress in all black, the SWAT. Well, I woke up like thinking like, well, what could I have done? Why would that even happen? Well, it could be twofold, you know what I'm saying? But at that time, back in 2024, I ended up getting word there at the place I was working at. They got raided, and they came in, the SWAT, and the man camp that I was sleeping in, the certain room that I was at. They moved in a new guy. So when they went in there and did their thing, they arrested the guy that was in the room that I was staying at. And yeah, so it could be twofold, you know what I'm saying? It's you don't know when things are gonna pop off, when something is gonna happen, unless the Lord is with you and he sends you certain dreams and he gives you signs. You know, he gives you a sense of urgency. Like they say, if you feel it in your stomach, believe it. You know, believe your intuition. Believe what your body is telling you, because that's more than likely it's true. Okay, so even going into this whole digital thing, you know, this whole digital ID, and ultimately it's going to lead to the RFID chip, the implanting of the RFID chip. When is it going to be time for you to like drop everything? You know, I don't really see too much or anybody talking about when is the time when you gotta stop, you gotta disconnect. You know, But even though the scriptures say, "Depart, for this is not your rest, for it shall destroy for a sword with the sword destruction," you know, you do that. We're confessing that, but we also gotta. It's gonna come a time where we have to do it physically. So when is that time gonna come? You know, I feel like through the Spirit, what tells me is each individual is gonna have their time where they're gonna start making certain moves. Okay, because the more and more you keep going into the future, the more you can probably be sucked into the darkness. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's gonna be hard for you to break away. And you know, okay, we know that the digital ID is gonna come. It's starting there in Europe, and then the RFID chip, right? But when is it time for you to break away, as far as like literally physically cut yourself from this place? Meaning that you're gonna have to probably drop your cell phone. You're definitely gonna have to quit your job. You're gonna have to cut off the phone and everything like that. You ain't gonna have nothing to pay anything anymore, but to depend on the Spirit and the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, this, like the scriptures say, your works shall follow you, meaning that you're gonna be protected. All right, because this devil is sending out the troops, man. They're already up to something. It's gonna happen quick. We've been knowing it. We've been saying it, starting with the elders all the way down. The Bible's already been telling us and showing us. When the abomination of desolation set foot, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no time to be waiting around. Let me get that one in Matthew chapter 24 and 14. And the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. And that's talking about the Roman Empire. But America is a rebirth of that Roman Empire. You know, that deadly wound that the dragon head had on his head was revived. So this is a whole new revised Rome. Okay, so the abomination of desolation, when they start, they're already messing with the apple of the Lord's eye. They just haven't really hit the chosen yet. But as far as the ones that hold the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that are sealed for redemption, for salvation, but they're still going after the Lord's chosen people as far as the Israel as a whole. Okay, even though they're the 2/3, it's still the Lord's people, and they're coming after the Israelites, the Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, right? So Matthew 24 and 16, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, right? So Yahushua prophesied that what was it, the Vespasian and Titus that were going to come in. They came in and ransacked Israel, and the Jews, the Israelites, you know, they left. You know, I think it was like recorded of 1 million Israelites that left. Okay, and so it says, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe to them that are with child, and them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right. So when's the time to start making that decision, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I speak for myself. That's been real heavy on my mind. You know, I ain't gonna speak too much, but it's been heavy on my mind. And through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, He knows what's gonna happen. All right. But let me go back and continue here. 2nd Esdras 16. And 40 says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that lose, and he that occupieth merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they shall go eat, or Salakia, as they shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in the captivity and famine shall they get children, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith Yahweh, or saith the Lord." Okay, so you gotta be as none of this stuff matters to you, man, and you gotta be ready to flee. All right, to run from this place. This is 2 Corinthians 7, 1 Corinthians 7 and 28. And if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. Salakia, let me see. Yeah, this is 1 Corinthians 7 and 28. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she had not sinned. Nevertheless, such have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Okay, so you got to be ready to let go of all this stuff. Like the Lord said to that rich man, sell everything that you have and follow me. And then he couldn't, so he said to the apostles, were amazed at what he said, then who can be saved? And he said, with this, through man it's impossible, but through the Most High all things are possible. So you have to be the elect first and foremost, and therefore it's possible, because all these mercies and covenants and things of that nature is for the elect anyways. Let me get that one. This is Romans 9 and 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahushua Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High, and promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom concerning the flesh Yahushua came, who is over all, the Most High blessed forever. Amen. So all these things are for the elect, period. The mercies, the covenants, salvation, the law, the services of the Most High, the promises, okay? But you still want to, be prepared, be ready. I know brothers have been doing it, but this is the time to really, really, again, tighten everything up extra tight, because that's what Esau's doing. He's getting ready to implement martial law. All right. I think that was it. Everything that I wanted to bring out regarding this. Yeah, man. So just be ready. Be ready. Don't be caught unawares or anything like that. Let me get this one in Luke. Let's see. And y'all can, again, y'all can look into more of these articles and stuff like that. All right, this is Luke chapter 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, and with perplexity the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking for those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Right, so you got like again, you got all these signs that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is giving us from the heavens. You know, the comets that are coming through, the blood moons, you know, all the different types of moons that they got that are coming through just in our time alone has been, you know, like constant. You know, the eclipses, lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, you know, all the different signs and the wonders that are in heaven, and the sun and the stars, the moon. You know, now they got this 3-eye atlas, you know, the third interstellar object that they found that is nothing as a comet or a meteorite. You know, so they're more likely saying like it's of another solar system. Okay, but verse 27, Matthew 21:27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Okay, because even like in the time of King Herod, whenever he saw the star in the heaven, they consulted amongst themselves, and they knew that the Messiah was going to be born, a king of the Jews. So what did he do? He put out a decree out to kill all the children that were of a certain year. I think it was like either 2 years and below or a year down. And yeah, because he was trying to prevent prophecy being fulfilled, because he was afraid. King Herod, which was an Edomite. All right. So verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory. So Yahushua is going to come from the heavens, and he's going to be giving aid unto the elect in those perilous times, you know. But ultimately, he's going to come from the clouds, and every eye shall see him. They're gonna know. And when those things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And you read down, I'm gonna start at verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and stand before the Son of Man. All right, so the RFID chip, these troops, you know, the laws are gonna change. All types of stuff's gonna happen, man. We're not gonna have access to food and everything like that, like we've been. So with that, y'all brothers, stay sharp, stay circumspect. Shalom.